Oklahoma City, land of the thunder, and a fine Western Conference battle here at the Chesapeake Energy Arena. 2K Sports is proud to present NBA basketball. Alongside Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. A quick check now at the starting lineups for both teams. And guys, taking a look at Thabo Sefolosha, what will we see from him?
You know, every team needs a stopper out on the perimeter, Kevin. There's so many great offensive players in this league, so you've got to have a guy who can shut people down. That's what Sefolosha does. He's savvy, he's long-armed, he's quick laterally, and he knows how to defend.
Yeah, one thing that Thabo always had is that defensive calling card, guys, that great defensive presence. It isn't easy finding guys on the perimeter to play like him, and this team is lucky to have him getting his hands in passing lanes, deflecting passes, always around the ball, lockdown defense, invaluable play. You take a look at Los Angeles, winning their last 3 games. They'd like to make that 4 in a row here tonight.
Well, what a terrific run they're on, just making the game look easy right now. And who knows, guys, maybe this is just the tip of the iceberg.
They are definitely striking some fear into the rest of the league, Steve. I mean, other teams are probably already looking ahead on their schedules, hoping they're not going to have to deal with him anytime soon. You know, CP3 did a lot of things, guys, to change the culture of the Clippers, but one that maybe gets overlooked is how much he encourages and model talking on defense with this team. If you don't call out a screen or a rotation on his team, he'll call you out about it.
Paul with the ball. He's picked up by Lamb. Some nice ball movement by the Clippers. Crawford's shot is good.
That's like a layup for him. He's just wide open out there.
Now here's Lamb. An 11-point game for him in the win against the Lakers in Los Angeles.
And how about his defense? 4 steals on the night. He was so aggressive.
And we've seen the Clippers turn around over the last few years. It doesn't just happen purely with talent, although it helps certainly. But Steve, a lot of it has to do with the change in the team's mindset.
Yeah, you can load up a team with a bunch of scorers and talented players, but if they aren't playing for each other and motivated to have each other's backs, then it does nothing. And I think Paul has done wonders for just the chemistry and the mindset of this Clippers team.
4 or 5 shots have dropped for them already. Not a bad way to get things started.
Here's Durant. Drops in the layup for 2. Durant's got 7.
I don't know who was supposed to be on him there, but clearly a mistake by the defense.
Paul for 3.
Almost surprised that he had that much room to work with. Kevin Durant is one of the most laid-back and easy-going guys you'll meet in the NBA, but don't be fooled. He's as fiery a competitor on the court as anyone else in the league. He's a superstar because he has the talent, but also the drive.
He kicks it to Crawford. They get the rebound. Here's Barnes. And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. And Oklahoma City called for the foul. He's getting his first free throw attempt of the night right now.
Well, he's right there at about 71% from the line this season. Probably somewhere below where he'd like to be.
You know, his free throw percentage has dropped this year, but not really enough to raise any red flags or become alarmed about it.
Durant with it, and Griffin picks him up defensively. Wide open. Here's Lamb. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
Pretty bad defense, letting the offense get right to the rim, but smart play to foul once he was there.
But you know what's going to happen, and they sent a message right there. Nothing easy inside.
And I think when you talk about the drive of Kevin Durant, Clark, it all comes from his love of the game.
I love watching Kevin Durant play. He is such a special talent, and you can see the inherent joy that he has in playing the game. I mean, it's palpable. It's obvious. He's a big-time gym rat, and he just loves to work on the game and continue to refine his skills. He's a joy to watch.
Reggie Jackson's checked in for Oklahoma City. Durant, no good. And there's the call on Durant. That's foul number 2 for him. Jared Dudley's checked in for Los Angeles. Paul with the bucket.
And that kind of defense is just not going to cut it, guys. I mean, they have to get a hand in his face.
You know, with the recent success of Oklahoma City, you forget that in Kevin Durant's first season, they started out going 3-29. And I tell you what, you talk about their success, it's due to the resilience and perseverance and leadership of Kevin Durant and the rest of those guys.
And it's good. Jordan's got his second bucket of the night.
Well, something special about him, guys, is just how good he is at winning the so-called second shot game, going hard to the offensive glass, salvaging points with his putbacks.
And Steve, he knows how to get himself on the highlight reel with some of those dunks, but it's not just for show with him. It's an injection of energy for his team and for the crowd.
And out of bounds as Los Angeles gains possession. Now we'll go to Doris Burke, who had a chance to talk with head coach Doc Rivers.
Thank you, Kevin. Yes, I spoke to him about the game plan coming into this matchup and addressed the quality shot blocking they'll have to overcome. He said, listen, that can be a factor, psychologically as well as physically. The key for us is just to play unselfishly. Draw the help, kick to the open man. If we execute our offense, we'll be fine. Guys?
Thank you, Doris, and quite a focus for the game here early on, and an important one too, guys.
Yeah, and they know how tough a task it's going to be to take on this defense. They've got to focus on that aspect right away.
Well, that's the priority in the scouting report. You face a team this good defensively, you're thinking about how we need to attack it. Then it's a matter of executing once you get out there.
Oklahoma City trailing. The last time these two clubs came together was also in this building, with an unfortunate ending for the home team. Right, that drops.
Well, it's definitely been a shootout, but the team that can start playing some defense might have an edge.
Dudley dishes to Paul. Pass to Dudley. Back to Paul. Takes a three. That's good. Paul's got 6 points. Just 4 seconds left to play here in the first. Jackson. A nice first quarter of play. We've seen plenty of offense so far. And off we go. A close game. Now starting the second quarter. And a look at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for the Clippers.
Now, they didn't waste any time getting into a groove out there. They're dialed in from long range.
They've been distributing the ball really well tonight, too. I mean, a decent number of assists so far for them.
In a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. So for Oklahoma City right now, Lockett at the 4 with Perkins at the pivot. Reggie Jackson out there with Cephalosha. And it's Lamb at the 3, the small forward. And here now the Thunder after the basket by Los Angeles. Shot clock at 6. And there's the feed to Jackson. And out of bounds as the Clippers gain possession.
Here's where Oklahoma City sits in the NBA statistical standings right now. Second in blocks, second in free throw percentage, and they're ranked third in field goal shooting. This team has a lot of weapons, and guys are not afraid to share the ball to get good shots.
And Clark, let's talk about those blocks, because you know what that does? When you're a guard and you've got great shot blockers behind you, it allows you to play with more aggressiveness on the perimeter, and that can really disrupt an offense.
For the Los Angeles Clippers, they come in off a good outing against the Trailblazers.
I thought the way they attacked the rim and got into the paint was phenomenal. It seemed like after a while, the defense just kind of waved the white flag.
That's exactly what will happen when a team continues to attack the goal and come away with layups. It demoralizes the defense.
Kevin Durant's checked in for Jeremy Lamb. The Thunder have been solid at the line so far, 4 for 4.
Well, this is a club that has hit about 80% of its free throws during the season. Very impressive number.
Those are good numbers for any team. I mean, they can feel extremely good about their free throw shooting percentage this season. Jared Dudley out of Boston College in his 7th season already. A smart vet who knows where to be defensively. He knocks down shots. I like his game. He's a winning player because he does a lot of little things and is always ready to step into his role.
And the Clippers making a switch here. Paul's checked in. And Dudley kicks to Paul. And it's out of bounds for the Clippers as the Clippers retain possession.
He had no choice but to lunge for that pass to stop it from getting through.
Well, that was a good job. It could have been a quick bucket if he doesn't knock it out of bounds there.
Now here's Paul. 20 points for him last game against Portland.
What a sweet assist by CP3.
And for Jared Dudley, Steve, you had a chance to be around him in your time in Phoenix.
Yeah, traded for him. That was the Raja Bell, Boris Diaw, Jason Richardson, and Dudley trade. Pretty good deal for both teams, really. But Dudley came into his own when he arrived in Phoenix, developed that three-point shot, but had always been a guy respected for his defense, for his work ethic, and his basketball IQ.
Former ACC Player of the Year. Paul gets a screen from Dudley. Paul is doubled. He dishes it to Dudley. And it's out of bounds. The Clippers able to retain possession here.
15 seconds.
Well, small forwards that can rebound the ball, such an asset to any team in the NBA. With now a look at the top rebounding wingmen. Kevin Durant is second.
And maybe they're not the biggest or strongest players in the front court, but that hasn't limited their ability to get in there, mix it up, and come up with a lot of rebounds night in and night out.
Yeah, you mentioned their lack of size and strength compared to the post players around the NBA, but I've always found that the best rebounders usually aren't the biggest guys. They're the most tenacious, and they have excellent timing and the ability to get off their feet multiple times quicker than their opponent. You know, one thing with Scott Brooks, guys, he's very consistent with his message. You listen in on those timeouts, it's all about getting stops. Defense, 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 and letting their offense come from that.
They've been able to get out to this lead without really getting a very reliable performance out of him from the field.
And you know that's going to be goaltending, guys, so that's a free basket right there.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
Jamal Crawford, he's checked in for Jared Dudley. Paul kicks to Crawford, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Clippers will retain possession.
And let's take a quick look now at the numbers for Blake Griffin. He was 6th in scoring and 11th in field goal percentage. And, of course, he's in the top 15 in rebounding, so a very strong presence in the paint.
And you don't become a top 10 scorer, Steve, without a variety of offensive moves and a whole bunch of tricks in your bag. So he makes for wonderful highlights the way he can score.
And here is Durant following the three from Chris Paul. Durant attacking. And it's out of bounds to the Thunder as Oklahoma City retains possession. And Clark, you mentioned Brooks' single-mindedness stayed pretty constant with his rotations, too.
And there's no doubt players appreciate knowing their role, but, you know, a lot of critics have been surprised at how Brooks has stuck to his lineups. Some lineups that didn't seem to be all that effective. You know, his usual starting lineup with Cephalosha and Perkins on the floor hasn't been their best in terms of plus-minus, but Brooks very loyal to his starting group.
Shot clock at 2.